Good afternoon, all of you. So today we will be doing the chapter on infrastructure. Some factuals will be important from your exams point of view. So just make sure that you are covering it pretty well. We will again try doing it well so that your time is saved decently. So let's get going. When we talk about infrastructure, the survey says in introduction that physical, digital and social infrastructure, mind you, all the three: physical infrastructure, road, railway, airport, ports, electricity, communication. Social infrastructure like housing, water supply, sanitation, and digital and public infrastructure like Aadhaar for identification, digital public infrastructure like things like say DigiLocker, or digital infrastructure like ONDC. All these are digital public infrastructure, UPI. So government, that is important for development in the last 5 years. So the basic idea of development has been to focus on this infrastructure development over the period in the last 5 years, focusing on that. And then survey says that public spending on infrastructure, government capital expenditure has accelerated at the rate of 38%, 38.8% between fiscal year 20 and 24. You know, in fiscal year 20, the capital expenditure was less than 2,50,000 crore, and now the capital expenditure is more than 11 lakh crore. So that's a tremendous increase in capital expenditure that the central government budget is making. Effective capital expenditure is even larger at around 17 lakh crore in this year's budget, compared to hardly 4 lakh crore in the budget of 2019-20. So we are doing much better when it comes to capital expenditure. And national infrastructure pipeline was launched for 111 lakh crore of infrastructure investment between 20 to 25. And also they have created national logistics policy, PM Gati Shakti initiative, national India investment grid portal. So all this is to make sure there is coordination in infrastructure development, that good coordination takes place, departmental coordination takes place in infrastructure development. Then of course there is, for resource mobilization, they are doing national monetization pipeline. Now 3.86 trillion has been mobilized between 22 and 24, and there is another target of 1.9 trillion in 25 which has been achieved. So effectively they have mobilized around 5.5 trillion in the last 4-5 years, and now in fiscal year 25-26, the finance minister has announced that government will go for further asset monetization, targeting 10 trillion rupees by 2030. So a lot of money is being taken away from monetizing infrastructure project. Monetization का मतलब क्या होता है? That you don't sell the project. It is not privatization, it is monetization. Monetization means I lease it out to the private sector for their use. जैसे अगर मैं एक रेलवे स्टेशन एक प्राइवेट कंपनी को देता हूं कि आप इसके रख रखाव करिए, देखभाल करिए, इस पे डेवलपमेंट करिए और चीजें लीज आउट करिए, रेवेन्यू कमाइए और मुझे उसका एक हिस्सा दीजिए, तो ये मोनेटाइजेशन है. That I am leasing out the railway station, you look after it, repair, maintenance, you develop the railway station, create bookshops, create eateries, and take revenue from that and share a part of that revenue with me. Then that is monetization and not privatization. Privatization means selling the asset. Monetization means leasing it out and getting money in return. So the ownership in monetization remains with the government. Then the survey says that despite these efforts, there is still a significant unmet demand for infrastructure development. That's true. India has huge hunger for infrastructure development. तो इतनी चीजों के बाद भी we still have unmet demand for infrastructure development. Also, the survey says that the pace of capital expenditure was affected in Q1 fiscal year 25. In fact, it was affected in Q2 fiscal year 25 also to some extent, not as much as Q1, but to some extent because of elections and then government coming in and government settling down. So that is where the survey says that there is still that scope that exists. Then of course we go into progress. So in railways we see increase in wagon and locomotive production. We also see that between April and October 24, 17 new pairs of Vande Bharat trains were introduced to the network and 228 coaches were produced. I will just add one thing to it, two things rather. We are running more than 126 Vande Bharat routes in India, which is a record in itself. Is it working okay now? Let's see. Is it working okay now? Okay, let's see. So we'll just take a small break for a minute. We'll rectify the issue with in our voice, and we will come back to you in just 1 minute. Kindly keep a pause. 1 minute. We are coming back to you. हाँ ठीक है, अभी आवाज जा रही है? Let's check. Is it going now? आवाज ठीक है? ठीक है, perfect. Going okay. Let's stick to this. Perfect. This is the second last lecture, Ayush. We will have the last lecture day after tomorrow. The last CAP class has already taken place yesterday. Okay, thank you all for waiting. Let's come back and see this. So what I was telling you, two things. One, more than 126 Vande Bharat routes are now functional. So that's in itself a good thing. And second thing is, India has become now a country which is capable of producing even sleeper coaches for Vande Bharat, which is not true for many countries in this world. Only China has the capability to do that. Okay, going further, then we see that commission of railway network, we saw commissioning of railway network, 2282 kilometers in 24 and another 2000 kilometers targeted in 25. Wagons and locomotives production increases by 4,000 units within 1 year, and similarly April-November 25 we have had another increase in locomotives. So wagon production 4,000 units, locomotive production another 72 units. We're doing well that ways. Also Vande Bharat trains, as I told you, we started with 2, then 10, then 51, then 68. As I told you, there are 68 Vande Bharat trains plying on more than 130 routes at the moment. Also, cumulative production of Vande Bharat coaches has now touched 900 by October itself. Now I can give you the result. It is above 1200 that we have produced. So that is extreme increase that we have experienced in the process. Then of course, in rail systems, 91 Gati Shakti multimodal cargo terminal have been commissioned and 234 locations have been approved by October 31. So this will help in faster freight development. Cargo terminals being developed in Gati Shakti, coordinated freight development is something we can watch for future. Also, Indian Railway is targeting 30 gigawatt of renewable energy by 2029-30. इसमें एक बात का ध्यान रखिएगा, रेल कोच फैक्ट्री राय बरेली was the first company ever in India to have developed the 100% solar energy dependency in 2017 itself. So पहली कंपनी जो भारत में जिसने 100% solar energy dependency declare की थी, वो थी रेल कोच फैक्ट्री राय बरेली. Then of course we also see that on PM Gati Shakti portal now, all major economic corridors will be built, and this will help in making sure that we are connecting Delhi, Mumbai, we are connecting with multiple possibilities of routes. We are connecting Mumbai, Ahmedabad, Chennai, Bengaluru, and Visakhapatnam, Kolkata. These are all routes which are under study at the moment. Then we have this bullet train project, Mumbai, Ahmedabad high-speed rail project. 47% physical progress has been completed. They are believing that they will be able to complete this entirely by 2030. For dedicated freight corridors, 96% of planned corridors are commissioned now. The eastern dedicated freight corridor is fully operational. The western dedicated freight corridor is something where we are kind of struggling a little. Then, then we go further. If we look at passenger amenities improvement, Amrit Bharat station scheme has been started. Work started on 1197 stations. Then policy for mobile catering, 555 base kitchens started. Servicing has already happened in 450 trains. So mobile catering means that you are moving and you will be given good food availability. Pradhan Mantri Bharatiya Jan Aushadhi Kendras in 50 stations now premises with affordable medication. So all this is about what you can add to your notes on what I have already made you write on railway development in India. Also, now we have one station, one product on 1900 stations for benefiting 80,000 local artisans. कोई toys बेच रहे हैं, कोई clothes बेच रहे हैं, कोई furniture बेच रहे हैं. और वन स्टेशन वन प्रोडक्ट के अंदर डेवलप करके चीजें लोगों तक पहुंचाई जा रही हैं, कोई स्टैचूज बेच रहे हैं एंड सो ऑन एंड सो फोर्थ. सो दैट इज हेल्पिंग इन बेटर अचीवमेंट देयर. Signaling system has improved. Electronic interlocking is now replacing the mechanical signaling. So manual signaling कम हो रहा है, electronic बढ़ रहा है. Kavach has been developed as an indigenously automated train protection system. Anti-collision system है ये. और ऑटोमेटिक ब्लॉक सिग्नलिंग अब आ गई है, पहले मैन्युअली होती थी. तो प्रोटेक्शन के लिए भी हम टेक्नोलॉजी वाइज बेटर कर रहे हैं. देन रोड ट्रांसपोर्ट, वी सी दैट इंडियाज टोटल रोड नेटवर्क इज 63.4 lakh kilometer, of which national highways account for 2%, and yet they carry 40% of overall road freight traffic. Now this is a challenge in Indian context. National highway account slightly more than 2%. They are accounting for if you see, around 1.5 lakh kilometer is national highway, so it's slightly more than 2%. From prelims point of view, that precision should be there. Then of course government is focusing on national industrial corridor development program, और इसके अंदर गवर्नमेंट कह रहे हैं that advanced industrial cities establish करेंगे as major manufacturing and investment hubs. यहाँ मेरा बस एक ही रिक्वेस्ट है कि इनके साथ वो नहीं होना चाहिए जो NIMZ के साथ हुआ. Similarly, हमने अनाउंस किया था National Investment Manufacturing Zones. We could not progress a lot on that. Hopefully, this National Advanced Industrial Cities can help in phasing out. In phase 1, 383 plots across 3788 acres have been allocated in sectors like electronics, renewables, automobiles, etc. across 4 cities in Dholera. Prelims के point of view से याद रखोगे, Dholera in Gujarat, Shendra Bitkin in Maharashtra, Greater Noida UP and Vikram Udyogpuri Madhya Pradesh. अब याद रखेंगे, these are 4 places which are already allocated with 3788 acres and 1383 plots for developing industrial plots in India. Therefore, development work has begun in 4 more cities and 12 additional industrial cities have been approved, integrating Industry 4.0 standards. What is that? Making sure that there is machine learning, large language models, robotics, Internet of Things, they are also being used, and along with that industrialization takes place in India across multiple sectors, mainly focusing on electronics, automobiles, renewables, pharmaceuticals, जो future की industries हैं, उनके ऊपर focus करने की बात है. Then again, if you see, we have shifted from project based development to corridor based approach. पहले project based development था, एक रोड यहां से लेके यहां तक पहुंचाना है, जैसे दिल्ली से लेके नोएडा तक. अब कॉरिडोर बनाने की बात होती है, दिल्ली लखनऊ कॉरिडोर. सो इट्स नॉट ओनली वन प्रोजेक्ट, इट्स अबाउट मल्टीपल प्रोजेक्ट्स इंटरकनेक्टेड विथ ईच अदर ओवर अ लॉन्ग डिस्टेंस. एंड नाउ from 91,287 kilometer in 2014 to 1.46 lakh kilometer in 2024. I'll take a pause for a second. So, when you talk about Bharatmala Pariyojana, 19,000 kilometers are now developed out of 34,800 kilometers planned. Then Char Dham Mahamarg project, 620 kilometer completed out of 825 kilometers. So अगर आपसे पूछेंगे progress of the different projects, वो आप यहाँ पे देख सकते हैं. That from 91,000 kilometer of national highway, actually now we have 1.46 lakh kilometer of national highway. It is now touching 1.5 lakh kilometer by March 2025. Similarly, national high-speed corridors have gone up from 93 kilometer to 2,474 kilometer. तो ये आप बताएंगे as development of roads in India, ये आपके data points हो गए. Development of roads in India, उसके data points हो गए. Then for logistic efficiency and road connectivity, we have advanced traffic management system for quick signaling, for immediate help to prevent accidents and so on. 6 multimodal logistical parks have been awarded. Multimodal logistical parks are like this. One logistical park, say in a city of Ludhiana, and then it can be connected via roadway, railway, waterway, airway, and then it will have spokes connecting it to different parts of India. So this will be the hub. It will have multimodal possibility of connectivity to different parts of India. Haldia, Nagpur, they are all being developed as multimodal logistical parks. 6 have been already awarded. Also, vehicle scrapping policy has been introduced so that older vehicles can be scrapped, new ones can be brought in. Environmentally, we become more sustainable. Then of course National Highway Maintenance Policy is there, where government says they will give contract for maintenance for entire National Highway network through performance-based maintenance contracts for short run. Those who perform well will keep getting their contracts renewed. Those who don't perform well will be removed from getting any new kind of contract. Then of course investment trusts and TOT, this we have already discussed, so I am not getting into detail, but investment trusts and TOT for long run contracts spanning 20 years. तो लॉन्ग रन कॉन्ट्रैक्ट के लिए लॉन्ग टर्म टेंडरिंग होगी, बट शॉर्ट रन कॉन्ट्रैक्ट के लिए परफॉर्मेंस बेस्ड इंडेक्स देखा जाएगा. दैट इज द थिंग यू हैव टू कीप इन माइंड. हमेशा क्या ध्यान रखोगे, सर्वे से क्या पिक करोगे, यहां से फैक्चुअल्स, साथ में अगर मेंस में आंसर लिख रहे हो तो डेटा पॉइंट बनाओगे, हाउ मच नेशनल हाईवे डेवलपमेंट, हाउ मच डेवलपमेंट ऑफ एक्सप्रेसवेज, हाउ मच डेवलपमेंट ऑफ equipments and amenities, what kind of things are being done for short run and long run contracting. That ways you can make your own notes, adding it to the notes that I have given you already. Then of course this is Parvatmala program, ropeways project development. 15 projects are already in progress. Varanasi, Dosi Hill, Bijli Mahadev and Ujjain have been awarded. 10 more are under bidding. So now 15 projects are being targeted. 4 awards are already given, so the work should begin in a couple of months, and bidding is already on for 10 more. So hopefully by next year we should have work happening at all these places. Then of course we look at civil aviation. We see airport operators and developers, including Airport Authority of India, are pursuing a capital expenditure plan exceeding 91,000 crore from fiscal year 22-25. This is for modernization of airports, new aircrafts installed, new types of refueling facilities. For all this we are doing these capital expenditure. Then of course new airports and improved connectivity under Udan scheme. In our class I discussed this with you. Ude Desh Ka Aam Nagrik. Just for factual, 687 routes are now under Udan, and out of these 687 routes, 243 routes do not give any subsidy at all, and still airlines are flying on these routes. So we have seen Udan doing some great achievements here. Then of course we see 619 routes connecting 88 airports, including 2 water airdromes and 13 heliports are operationalized. This number has now become 687. Please keep that in mind. सर्वे से 619, लेकिन सर्वे 4 महीने पुराना है, उनके डेटा 6 महीने पुराने हैं. मैं आपको लेटेस्ट डेटा दे रहा हूँ. 687 and now 91 airports, including 2 water airdromes, of course, operationalized under Udan. Cargo handling capacity has increased to 8 million metric ton. That is huge. Our cargo handling capacity was 4.5 million metric tons, say 10 years ago. We have had almost a cumulative 10% growth in our cargo handling capacity. So if you see again, cargo handling capacity at airports has risen from 7.4 to 8 within last 2 years. We also see operationalized airport and routes under regional connectivity scheme, that's Udan. So airports 88, as I told you, now 90, 619 routes, as I told you, 687. So we are making some fast progress when it comes to civil aviation in India. Then in ports and waterways, we see Sagarmala was something that was developed by Indian government for the purpose of developing port infrastructure in India. So we see that operational efficiency is rising. Turnaround time is falling on Indian ports. In fact, now the report is that our turnaround time is 30.4 hours in fiscal year 25 from 48 hours. So we are reporting some wonderful improvement in turnaround time. आप सोचिए, ये turnaround time 96 hours था in 2015 जब हमने सागरमाला शुरुआत की थी. So we see that when we have invested in our ports, we have achieved good results there. Similarly, increased port capacity addition has increased from 3 million tons per annum to 21 million tons per annum in the last 1 odd year. So there is huge increment that we see in port capacity as well as in reducing the turnaround time on ports. अगर सागरमाला प्रोग्राम के प्रोजेक्ट को देखें, in modernization 98 projects are completed, 74 are under development and 62 are under implementation. For connectivity, 91 are completed, 131 under development and 57 under implementation. Port-led industrialization, 9 completed. Similarly, we see that coastal community development, 32 are still under implementation, 21 have been completed, and coastal shipping and inland water trade, 43 are completed, 125 under development, 63 under implementation. तुम्हारे लिए ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट होगा ये सारे कंप्लीटेड वाली चीजें याद रख लो. ये सागरमाला के 5 मेजर ऑब्जेक्टिव्स थे कि आप कितने पोर्ट को मॉडर्नाइज कर रहे हैं, कनेक्ट कर रहे हैं टू इंडस्ट्रियल रीजन, पोर्ट के आसपास इंडस्ट्रीज कितनी लगा रहे हैं, कोस्टल कम्युनिटी को इंक्लूड कितना कर रहे हैं, और कोस्टल शिपिंग एंड इनलैंड वाटर ट्रेड को कितना बढ़ावा दे रहे हैं. सो जितने प्रोजेक्ट्स कंप्लीट हो गए हैं, दिस यू शुड राइट इन योर आंसर, एंड इफ यू रिमेंबर यू कैन राइट हाउ मेनी आर अंडर इंप्लीमेंटेशन एक्सेट्रा. नाउ व्हेन वी लुक एट initiatives in port sector, this was in news. Vadhavan mega port being developed with 76,000 crore rupees investment, that is infrastructure development, and Tuticorin. Now this was September 2024, Prime Minister inaugurated it. Tuticorin International Container Terminal and Outer Harbour at Tuticorin have also now been inaugurated, and they will be operational in the next couple of years. Union Cabinet has approved 12 new industrial smart cities with investment of 24,000 crore, 40,000 crore, over 25,000 acres of salt land identified for port development. So this will be new industries developed near coastal regions under the coastal economic zone concept. They will get freedom to operate, they will get assured infrastructure, they will get export facility, reduced logistical costs, and good port infrastructure. So that is what they are planning. Also, Chabahar Port and INSTC. INSTC is an extension of Chabahar, so it goes from Chabahar towards Central Asia and then to Russia. So that is, International North-South Transit Corridor. And then the Sitwe Port at Myanmar, Kaladan project. ये अभी थोड़ा सा खटाई में पड़ा हुआ है because of the civil war happening in Myanmar. Also, 98 public-private partnership projects worth rupees 69,800 crore have been approved, excluding the Vadhavan project. So this is about modernization and development of new, major ports in India. और transshipment container hub बनाया गया है at the Galathea Bay, Greater Nicobar Island has been now planned. Transshipment container hub का मतलब है one place where you can be a connecting place and people from all over the world, especially the neighborhood, can come and put their commodity there. You can take a fee from them and you can ship it down to the next destination. And this is where India was very weak just 10 years ago. But Sagarmala has made a huge difference, making India one of the transshipment hubs now. पहले लोग कोलंबो में अपना सामान रख देते थे, अब लोग इंडिया चूज करने लगे हैं. So this is something where we have made some progress in the last 10 years. And then of course, National Maritime Heritage Complex at Lothal has been approved. India's Navy Gallery, tallest lighthouse museum. So this is for the aesthetic and the cultural aspect, plus economic money generation when people visit these places. Then, if we go further, the inland water transportation has increased tremendously in India. We have had urban waterways projects. In fact, if you look at Allahabad, Varanasi, the urban waterways project is in full gleam. We have had Ganga Vilas on National Waterway 1 as the first luxury cruise that India now operates on an inland river, that is Ganga Vilas. Similarly, so now this is about urban waterways at 1,300 crore are underway, and they have benefited already 35 lakh passengers and 1 lakh cargo trucks and 5 lakh vehicles. Harit Nauka guidelines are launched for greening of 1,000 inland vessels to make sure that we can sustainable plus developing, and cargo promotion scheme is being promoted to encourage switch to inland waterways कि जो लोग सिर्फ roadways use कर रहे हैं या railways use कर रहे हैं bulk transportation के लिए over long distance, inland waterways is cheaper and ecologically more sustainable. So this is again what is being promoted with cargo promotion scheme. Then river cruise tourism, as I told you, 82,587 passengers on day cruises by October 24, and a 5-fold increase in night cruise passengers in fiscal year 24 compared to 19. And then Jal Marg Vikas project on National Waterway 1. National Waterway 1 is the one which connects Banaras to Haldia. That is National Waterway 1. And 65% physical progress is already completed. So we see the Ganga Bhagirathi Hooghly project on it. And similarly, Jal Marg Vikas Project 2, Earth Ganga, the construction of community jetties and navigation improvements already taking place. अब इन्हें क्या याद रख लोगे? अगर एक सवाल मेंस में आ जाता है कि आप inland waterways पे इंडिया में क्या डेवलपमेंट हुए हैं, these are your factuals. Similarly, prelims में आपको इनमें से स्टेटमेंट दे देंगे और पूछेंगे क्या ट्रू है क्या फॉल्स है. So again, if you know the facts, you will be able to answer the statements much better. Then we go to power sector. We see that installed capacity had risen by 7.2% year on year to 456.7 gigawatt as of November 2024. Now it has reached 468 gigawatt by March 2025. So our power sector growth has been quite tremendous in the last few years. India's total renewable energy installed increased by 15.8%, touching 209.4 gigawatt, up from 180 in December 23. Now this has reached 225 gigawatt, what we had targeted earlier for our renewable energy by 2025, 225 gigawatt. Of course, 47% of India's total installed energy is renewable energy. What we see is 97.8 gigawatt of solar energy. Solar energy has now passed 100 gigawatt. It has been affirmed by the National Solar Energy Development Mission. And 48.2 gigawatt is wind, 11.3 gigawatt bioenergy, 52 gigawatt hydro. So this is the distribution of renewable energy capacity in India. And if you see the difference in fiscal year 24, fossil was 61.4 and non-fossil was 38.6. By fiscal year 25, now non-fossil is 47 and fossil is 52. Then of course we see the government of India has invested 1.85 lakh crore under schemes like Deen Dayal Upadhyay Gram Jyoti Yojana, Integrated Power Development Scheme and Sahaj Bijli Har Ghar Yojana Saubhagya to strengthen power distribution, electrifying 18,374 villages. It completes all villages now electrified in India. We are on record. And providing electricity to 2.9 crore households. The Ministry of Power website says 3.2 crore households. Economic survey says 2.9 crore households. So you can keep a pick in your mind कि सौभाग्य के अंदर Ministry of Power जो है वो 3.2 crore households का data देते हैं who have been electrified under सौभाग्य. The revamped distribution sector scheme has been launched since July 21 to improve quality of power supply and financial sustainability with an expenditure of 3 lakh crore. Again, a step taken by the government to promote power sector. Step taken by the government to promote power sector. The daily average supply is now almost touching 24 hours in urban areas and 21.9 hours in rural areas. And the gap between energy demand and supply has declined from 4.2% to 0.1% within the last 10 years. So these are again the data that survey says, talking about achievements done in the power sector. The recent measures are rooftop solar rules. If you recall, it was the Pradhan Mantri Surya Muft Bijli Yojana, Har Ghar Muft Bijli Yojana, and they were amended in fiscal year February 24 to simplify and accelerate installations. Amendment ये किया गया कि permissions quicker दी जाएंगी और जो installment की capacity है वो बढ़ा दिया जाएगा. Larger capacity installment will be allowed and there will be faster permissions granted from district level. Feasibility studies are no longer needed, that is one, for up to 10 kilowatt, and timelines for larger systems were shortened. जो मैं आपको बता रहा था, permissions quickly and less restrictions. Then of course, EV charging connections have been developed and consumers can now obtain separate EV charging connections just by applying. We also see it happening in malls, we see it happening on roadsides, that electric vehicle charging connections are now rising and multiplying. Then faster electricity connection is being given. The timeline is now 3 days for new connections in municipal areas and 15 in rural. Also, billing accuracy has improved. Again, economic survey नहीं लिखते, लेकिन Ministry of Power का website बताता है that 83% of meters now are electronic meters in India, while this was only 41% of meters electronic meters just 10 years ago. So this is again something where we have improved decently. Then when we look at digital infrastructure, 5G services have been rolled out and this has been launched across all states and UTs by October 31. They are available in 779 out of 783 districts and we have seen that 4.6 lakh base transceiver stations are now received. The 4G expansion project is there to provide 4G to 24,680 uncovered villages and upgrade 6,279 from 2G to 3G. By December 24, 7,815 sites covering 10,706 villages are commissioned. This is about expansion of telecom in India. Most important is 5G services now almost available throughout India. That's very important. Keep that in mind. Then, of course, if we look at under Digital Bharat Nidhi, Universal Service Obligation Fund was renamed Digital Bharat Nidhi to continue supporting telecom services in rural and remote areas. तो ये एक prelims के point of view से याद रखेंगे. Universal Services Obligation Fund was something given by Ministry of Telecom to promote or support enough money for telecom generation in remote and rural areas. अब उसका नाम बदल के डिजिटल भारत निधि कर दिया गया है. और जो भारत नेट प्रोजेक्ट शुरुआत की गई थी 2015 में to connect all gram panchayats and villages with broadband, as of December 2024, 6.9 lakh, this is achievement of BharatNet, again keep it with yourself, 6.9 lakh kilometer of optic fiber cable have been laid, 2.14 lakh GP services ready, and 12.04 lakh fiber to the home has been established. The GP is global positioning. So when you look at all these, we see that BharatNet is also making its own progress at a very decent pace. We also see that Northeast region they have focused a lot on development. 671 towers in Arunachal and Assam covering 1178 villages, and 433 towers in Meghalaya covering 622 villages and 3 highways. So this is Northeast regional development. Then Andaman and Nicobar, the optic fiber cable submarine is complete. 205 Gbps bandwidth has been used. Lakshadweep, 1869 kilometer submarine OFC commissioned. That means we are now planning to connect even Andaman Nicobar, Lakshadweep with proper digital connectivity to get telecom response here also. It will be a great achievement because that will then mean that people can position themselves anywhere in India and do activities related to telecom, activities on computers, internet facilities, and that can have a lot of potential of encouraging businesses to go into these areas. Then of course, border village scheme, 319 villages covered in border areas through 295 towers and left-wing extremism areas. In phase 1, 297 towers have been upgraded and 1106 towers are covering 1162 locations. This is again a big achievement because the Naxals in the left-wing extremist areas are very prone to blowing up the towers. So ये एक तरफ से ये भी दिखाता है that Naxalism is going down in India because we see towers being established and remaining intact. Aspirational districts, we see 502 villages scheme, 215 towers commissioned covering 251 villages, 7287 village scheme, 2497 sites covered, 3804 villages in 5 states. The idea is जितने भी underserved places हैं उन्हें कैसे serve किया जा सके. The GI Cloud Initiative, Meghraj, the Government of India owned cloud initiative है, enables cloud-based ICT services, information communication technology services for central and state departments. कल मैं आपको class में बता रहा था current affair की that even the Gati Shakti portal and the unified portal for national logistics policy are fed through Meghraj using BISAG-N. Then of course, National Informatics Center hosts 1,917 applications and 23 public and private cloud providers have been impaneled. The perfect part is then there will be huge storage capacity within India, so we will not have to send our data abroad to be stored there. Meghraj has that huge potential. I hope we are able to actually get the results out of that. Then India's data center market is rapidly expanding. How come? The co-location capacity reached 977 megawatt in 23, 258 megawatt added, huge growth. Co-location is sharing the same data point and then passing it on for mutual work. Then 1.03 gigawatt is under construction, an additional 1.29 gigawatt planned. The market size is projected to grow from 4.5 billion to 11.6 billion in the next 10 years, which is a huge CAGR of almost 11%. So we see that if we look at lower construction costs due to affordable real estate and a strong IT ecosystem make India competitive globally, which will mean more and more firms will come and choose India as global capability centers, research and development units, interaction with the other places in the world. So India has that potential and government has worked hard in improving that information technology presence. Then we talk about rural infrastructure. Jal Jeevan Mission launched in August 2019 for safe drinking piped water for all rural households. At the time of launch of Jal Jeevan Mission, only 3.23 crore households, that is 17%, had tap water access. By November 26, 2024, it is now 15.3 crore households, 79% out of 19.34 crore. Now that's again a big achievement on Jal Jeevan Mission, tap water for all. And 8 states like Goa, Haryana, Gujarat, etc. and 3 UTs have achieved 100% coverage. And to ensure water safety, 2,160 water quality labs are operational, of which 1570 are accredited. Also, we look at Jal Jeevan Mission impact. Access to safe drinking water has increased. Arsenic and fluoride contamination have been reduced. 75.2 lakh households in the covered area, 69.2 now receive safe piped water. In contaminated habitations, safe water has been provided to 23 lakh households in arsenic affected and 11.43 in fluoride affected regions, and community water purification plants have been installed, including 573 in contamination affected areas. अब एक और बात याद रखेंगे, PVTG regions, particularly vulnerable tribal groups, all districts are now under Jal Jeevan Mission. ये बात याद रखेंगे. All districts are now under Jal Jeevan Mission. Then we look at the Swachh Bharat Mission Gramin phase 2, which is 20 to 25, to upgrade all villages to ODF plus status. ये सारा rural development का part है. एक notes बना लोगे on each aspect of rural development or rural infrastructure growth. इसको combine कर लेना with the rural development part we have already discussed in the earlier chapters that we have covered, especially in agriculture, and before that also when we were discussing things related to the development of medium scale industrialization and all. Now coming back, so ODF open defecation free status sustain करने के साथ साथ solid and liquid waste management को ध्यान रखना और visual cleanliness पे ध्यान देना. You know, that is one thing that we are targeting in Swachh Bharat Mission Gramin. Villages are characterized as aspiring, rising or model. Best is model, then rising, then aspiring. From April to November 24, 1.92 lakh villages were declared ODF plus, model villages that is, bringing the total now to 3.64 lakh villages, which means more than 50% villages in India are now model villages, ODF plus. If you see that you know the aspiring villages are now 1.8 lakh, and the rising villages are 0.2, the best part is this growth. That more and more villages are now shifting towards model villages compared to aspiring or rising. If you look at number of villages achieving ODF plus status in 6 months or 8 months rather, more than 75% is this green area. Earlier there were only 2-3 such places, say, which you saw in that zone. Now if you see, we see a vast swath over in that green area region. So this is the progress that we have made. Also earlier we would see comparatively much lesser this lighter blue part. Now we again see that much more. So that shows continuous progress, where most of the places in India now have reached a zone of more than 50%. Again, of course, there are places with less than 25% story also, like Northeast, we still have less than 25% in places like Arunachal Pradesh, etc. But this is again something that India can aspire to overcome. Best part is some of the lesser developed states like Uttar Pradesh or Bihar have shown decent progress on this account. Even Chhattisgarh, green here is a big encouragement. Then if you see urban infrastructure, again there is Swachh Bharat Mission Urban 2.0, and we see that the cities declared open defecation free has increased from 15 to 100 in the last 9 odd years. Individual household latrines constructed have risen from 20 to 109. Community public toilets constructed has risen from 9 to 126. Door-to-door solid waste collection from 41 to 98 cities, and waste processed 18 to 80. Now this is very good achievement again with respect to percentage of target that we are achieving, the support that we are providing. ये आप दिमाग में रखेंगे again with respect to the principles of circular economy, trying to manage things, recycle things, renew things, and make sure wastages can be minimized. Of course, the cumulative progress has been The individual household latrines constructed are more than 63 lakh. Community and public toilets more than 6.4 lakh. Number of seats, so there can be one toilet with maybe 4 blocks and 4 seats in it. That way is also. A number of wards with 100% door-to-door collection, now 93,000 plus wards doing that. The moral of the story again is that Swachh Bharat mission, if they ask you to write a short note on it, these 3-4 slides on SBM Grameen and SBN Urban, तो आप लिखेंगे पहले what is Swachh Bharat mission, when did it start, what was the initial phase, and in the last phase now, next second phase, what all have been the achievements. Rural development पे कोई सवाल आए, ये सारे gold mine हैं data के. Urban development में SBMU again is something which is aligning itself with sustainable development goals, and 97% of urban households now have toilet access mind you. To promote progress, the government introduced ODF, ODF plus, ODF plus plus and Water Plus protocols. So ODF certified का मतलब complete access to toilets by citizens and ensuring that nobody goes out for open defecation. ODF plus means all community and public toilets are clean, hygienic and functional. ODF plus plus is ODF plus and complete fecal sludge from toilet is safely contained, transported and treated. And water plus means ODF plus plus and ensuring that no untreated liquid waste is discharged without proper treatment. ये बहुत ही important है. ये definition याद रख लोगे prelims के point of view से कि इनके ये याद रखने की जरूरत नहीं कि कितने urban local bodies उसके अंदर हैं. Chances they will ask you this is less, but इनके meaning क्या है? ODF certified, ODF plus, ODF plus plus and water plus. That will be pretty relevant. Then of course ICT tools have enhanced SBMU governance. Swachh Bharat app, Swachhata app with more than 2 crore users has addressed 2.39 crore of 2.55 crore complaints by routing them to municipal bodies. So there's a faster redressal of complaint that we are now looking at. Also, Google toilet locator maps are assuring that 67,000 plus toilets across 3,300 plus cities are allowing users to upload locations, give feedback to improve public sanitation access. They are in beginning phase. Keep that in mind. It is not yet fully achieved. अभी देखने में नंबर हाई लग रहे हैं, but अगर आप टोटल इंडिया से कंपेयर करेंगे तो ये नंबर बहुत मिनिस्क्यूल हैं अभी भी. लेकिन आप सोचिए ये बिगिनिंग क्या करेगा. Over 5-7 years there will be a possibility where people can take a picture of a badly maintained toilet, upload, which will reach the higher authorities, and immediate reaction can be seen. So that is the beginning part that we are looking at. Other initiatives like PM Awas Yojana Urban, since 2015 we see 1.18 crore houses have been sanctioned, 1.14 crore grounded and over 89 lakh completed. This is in urban areas. So almost 3 crore house in the process of being developed or already developed. The second version was launched in September 24 after the budget of July 24 actually, and the finance minister had announced in the budget that it will target 1 crore more households with 6 lakh houses approved for fiscal year 25. Urban transport, we again see metro and rapid transit systems operating in 29 cities with 1,000 kilometer plus functional and 980 kilometer under construction. Atal Mission for Rural Urban Transformation, AMRUT, this was launched in 2015 to improve urban water and green infrastructure. Now, AMRUT has increased tap water coverage to 70% and sewerage to 62%. Both these numbers were less than 25% when AMRUT was launched. Today, the numbers are going beyond 60%. AMRUT 2.0 was launched in 2021 with a 2.7 lakh crore allocation. It has initiated more than 8,500 projects worth 1.89 lakh crore. Similarly, for smart cities, more than 8,000 projects worth 1.64 lakh crores were proposed. Out of these, 7,479 projects worth 1.5 lakh crore have been completed. So almost 90+% projects proposed under Smart City Mission are now being completed. This is again a very important block. You must read through this. This is achievement under Smart Cities Mission. अगर इकोनॉमिक सर्वे ये दे रहा है तो तैयार रहिए मेंस में या प्रीलिम्स में ये सवाल आने के हमेशा चांसेस हैं. That what is the achievement with respect to integrated command and control sectors? It's operational in 100 cities, used for urban management. Public safety, more than 83,000 CCTV cameras have been installed. Same for public safety, more than 1200 projects completed, 318 waterfronts developed. Water supply, this is that. Then solid waste management, we see, and this. Solid waste management, we see that there is, again, integrated command and control centers and 9,000 RFID enabled vehicles established for mobility, that is. So just keep that across, that making sure that across smart cities there are multiple achievements that we have done. Then Real Estate Regulation Act has played its own role. It is notified in all states and UTs except Nagaland, and 1.38 lakh real estate projects and 95,000 agents are now registered. एक तरीका बन गया है अब इंडिया में, आप देखेंगे कि अगर बिल्डर्स लोगों के कॉन्फिडेंस लेना चाहते हैं तो बोलते हैं माय प्रोजेक्ट इज अंडर रेरा. सो दैट इज क्रिएटिंग सम कॉन्फिडेंस अमंग पीपल विद रियल एस्टेट रेगुलेशन एक्ट. Also we see that technology and data are key to India's urban transformation, and the key initiatives include Climate Smart Cities Assessment Framework. Now remember, this is role of technology in urban development in India. ये आप geography में, sociology में, economics में हर जगह use कर सकते हैं in writing your answers. So role of technology in urban development. One, Climate Smart Cities Assessment Mission, ये 2019 में launch किया गया था to promote climate sensitive urban development, and now the second version is launched, assessing 126 cities. Data smart cities, so that data driven services can be taken, data points are generated, and multiple data is allocated at one point with cloud computing and using large language models to make sense of that. National Urban Innovation Stack, again it is continuously attempting to collect collaborative data. Urban governance done with the messaging where, suppose for example, I get a data that there is water seepage in a water pipeline in a particular area which happens more frequently. Then I get a data that there is heavy vehicle movement in another area where the water pipeline originates. Now I combine these two, it will immediately reflect on my portal. I will be able to take rectifying measures in that. Then of course we look at National Urban Learning Platform for local bodies, city investments to innovate, integrate and sustain challenge. This is purpose of climate resilient urban projects, and phase 2 is now also approved. Then TULIP for urban learning internship program, and National Urban Digital Mission to create digital infrastructure covering maximum cities by 2024. Then we look at tourism infrastructure. Yes, ये एक और important topic है, आप ध्यान रखेंगे. पिछले 2 बजट से फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर टूरिज्म की बात कर रहे हैं, साथ में टूरिज्म के लिए सर्टिफिकेशन, टूरिज्म के लिए डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम्स ये एस्टैब्लिश किए गए हैं. तो ये पार्ट अगेन टूरिज्म शुड वेरी सून अपीयर इन योर क्वेश्चन पेपर. आई एम एक्सपेक्टिंग दैट. So if we look at it, we see tourism infrastructure development. We see that the projects sanctioned are 48 under Prashad, 26 already done. Prashad is pilgrimage rejuvenation and spiritual augmentation drive. So ये है for cultural tourism development. Also assistance to central agencies is now touching 65 projects sanctioned, 38 completed. And Swadesh Darshan, that is again looking into inward into India rather than people going abroad. If we can keep people in India, like say for example, many people go to Maldives for all those Duncan huts, staying over there with the sea. There is a similar project in India in Tehri, on Tehri Dam, similar project being run by an Indian company, Duncan huts, all those lighting projects, the crackers being bursted and all. So it's very much like Maldives, but gives you an experience within India in Tehri, Uttarakhand. Many Indians won't even know about it. So that is something which we are trying to achieve by creating these projects. Of course, Swadesh Darshan 2.0 has been launched since 2022, focusing on sustainable theme-based tourism development, majorly like cultural tourism, health tourism, cuisine tourism, nature tourism, that kind of a thing, health tourism. In सभी projects, जैसे इंडिया में लोग इलाज कराने आते हैं, तो health tourism. North East, Kerala, nature tourism. Cuisine tourism is eat authentic Indian food. Culture tourism is religious spots or cultural spots, Buddhists, Hindus, Muslims, and Parsis, and so on. So if people can, Christians can go that sides. And then in fiscal year 25 project, 40 projects across 23 states have received more than 3,000 crore as 50-year interest-free loans to develop iconic tourist destination of global standards. So the idea is not only promoting Swadesh Darshan for people within India, creating massive infrastructure and support facility to attract global tourists, because remember, if tourism progresses, it's an all-round development with respect to even employment, technology, plus soft power for India. Then of course, they look into space infrastructure. So India is operating 56 active space assets, including 24 Earth observation, 19 communication, 9 navigation and 4 scientific satellites. And ISRO has expanded its launch capabilities now with a small satellite launch vehicle. We also have established New Space India Limited, which successfully launched 72 OneWeb satellites and GSAT-20 with SpaceX. Keep this in mind from space infrastructure point of view. This is futuristic. Under Space Vision 2047, 4 major projects have been approved. Gaganyaan follow-on mission, of course, towards the Bharatiya Antariksh Station. Then Chandrayaan 4, lunar sample return, Venus orbiter mission, and next generation launch vehicle. Again, this is for what India is planning for space. ISRO's geospatial space-based infrastructure monitoring platforms have been there, like Bhuvan platform, for implementation of schemes like Manrega and PMKSY, to make sure that there is proper observation possibility. Geotagging is promoted through Nyaya Vikas portal. Department of Justice tracks 2,840 judicial projects with mobile geotagging. तो इससे क्या होता है? Faster completion of projects, less corruption, and better utilization of funds. Then of course, for urban planning, ISRO has created 2D geospatial databases for 238 Amrit cities to support GIS-based master plan. Now, in conclusion, survey says that government has prioritized infrastructure development, no doubt about that. But they have not only prioritized infrastructure, they have prioritized sustainable infrastructure development. So that is why the long-term growth will demand continued investment in multimodal transport, urban resilience, heritage preservation and renewable energy. Heritage preservation भी उतना ही जरूरी है. हमारे बहुत सारे, जैसे मैं आपको एक एग्जांपल देता हूँ, उदयगिरी is a place in Madhya Pradesh, very near to Sanchi Stoop. It is heritage-wise big place for India, hardly maintained. So the local government should become conscious. जब मैं गया वहाँ देखने, मेरी बड़ी इच्छा थी, sleeping Lord Vishnu का statue posture in a single stone carved, पूरी दुनिया में एक ही जगह है at उदयगिरी. और ये caves हैं जो आज से करीब 1700 साल पहले बने, 400 AD, 450 AD. और इनकी मेंटेनेंस बिल्कुल जीरो थी. वहीं पे काउस का काउडंग्स भी पड़े हुए थे, लॉक्स लगे हुए थे, जो केयर टेकर्स थे वो गायब थे. सो दिस इज समथिंग इफ वी कैन वर्क ऑन, तो फिर काम बनेगा. ये स्कीम्स तो हम बना रहे हैं, काम कर रहे हैं, बट जब तक लोकल लेवल पे काम नहीं होगा, वी विल नॉट बी एबल टू डू वेल देयर. देन ऑफ कोर्स देयर इज, एज द सर्वे एक्सेप्ट्स, public investment alone is insufficient, so private sector participation will have to increase. Also, government supports multiple public-private partnership models and has launched enabling frameworks like infrastructure pipeline, Gati Shakti, national monetization pipeline. But now it is important that we create coordinated effort, enhance project planning capacity and broader PPP acceptance. Survey argument दे रहे हैं कि धीरे धीरे प्राइवेट सेक्टर को ज़्यादा हिस्सा देना पड़ेगा, डेवलपमेंट करवाना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि गवर्नमेंट के फाइनेंसेस उन्हें ये करना नहीं पॉसिबल रखेंगे. सो इसीलिए ज़रूरी है ज़्यादा पब्लिक प्राइवेट पार्टनरशिप हो, असेट मोनेटाइजेशन हो, ताकि हम डेवलपमेंट भी कर पाएं और रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी भी पुट करें. आप देखेंगे अगर कोई रेलवे स्टेशन मोनेटाइज्ड है, लोग वहाँ प्लेटफॉर्म टिकट लेते हैं, और सरकार चला रही है, बिना प्लेटफॉर्म टिकट लिए घुस जाते हैं. सो दिस इज आवर सिस्टम विच वी नीड टू फोकस अपॉन एंड मेक श्योर दैट इफ वी हैव सम काइंड ऑफ डिसिप्लिन plus private participation, many times the infrastructure can show high growth. Thank you all of you. I plan to see you day after tomorrow next and finish economic survey discussion. It has been a long journey but very gratifying. So perfect, we'll meet day after tomorrow to finish the last chapter, medium term development. All the best to all of you. Keep studying for your exam. Bye-bye.